Hickok 45 here. What are you looking at? You're looking at something a little unusual. A Colt clone cowboy gun that says 38 Super on the barrel. How many of those do you reckon exist? 38 Super, isn't that a competition round or a Mexican round, right? Well, let's just load it up and see if that's real. How about that? So, yep, Hickok 45 with a cowboy gun chambered in 38 Super, and those who can read know it's a Pieta King Trio. Could be chambered in several things, right? Yeah, got this from Gallery of Guns. It's a Davidson's exclusive, in fact. So we appreciate their support. You get a guaranteed lifetime replacement on any firearms from Gallery of Guns. So yes, this one is chambered in 38 Super. I'm going to put some bullets in it. I happen to have some old 38 Super. These are Winchester silver tips I bought in the 80s. So that's all I have. It's only 38 Super I happen to have left for my days of competing and all that. So I actually fired about 3 of these the other day. They seem to work. And they've not even been in air conditioning, controlled environments. Been in the barn. Let's see if they shoot. All right, Winchester. Oh, by the way, look what I paid for that box. I don't know if they still sell Winchester silver tip 38 Super, but that's what they are. And on the other side, it looks like I paid $18. Is that what that says? I think $18, yeah. So that was pretty expensive back in 89 or 90, whatever it was. Let's put one of them on this paper. Okay, the first round, I hit the bullseye. Now let's try something that's a little more of a challenge, like a plate. All right, 38 Super. What about the cowboy? Oh, looks like dead center. Let's try Clyde over there. Oh, God, I missed Clyde. Well, I'm not going to waste another one on him. I'm going to put one on a... Oh, that's all of them, though, isn't it? Yeah, that was 5. Sorry about that. We'll get back to you, Clyde. 38 Super, though. Did John Wayne carry 38 Super? I don't think so. But, you know, you never know what's going to come around these days. That's an interesting choice, isn't it? 38 Super as one of the chamberings. And a good old cowboy gun, Colt single action clone. I brought a Colt out here just again to prove to you that it's like Colt single action clone. If you don't know what a Colt is, or you know, that kind of thing, same gun, same barrel length, and all that, same format, right? Except my Colt is in 45 caliber instead of some stupid 38 Super. No, it's not stupid. There's a lot of 38 Super floating around ammo. It's such a popular round in competition. And I mentioned Mexico. Some of you are probably wondering, what do you mean by that? Explain yourself. Well, in some countries, you cannot have a firearm that is chambered in whatever the military uses. And I don't know how that might have changed in Mexico, but you know, the 38 Super came around in like 1929, I think, 1930. And I think in Mexico you could not have, you know, the same round. That was the case down there, and I don't know what the law is down there now, if you can have a firearm, you know, or what at all. But so 38 Super is not used by any military. So I'm trying to say that I'm aware of. So you wouldn't be stepping on the military toes with that. So I just wanted to shoot some 38 Super to show you that. I'll save those last 5 or 6 for sometime in, I don't know, the year maybe 2057 or something, and finish that box finally, I think. So yeah, it's called the Trio. Y'all ready for this? I wouldn't have to explain this if my relatives in Kentucky were not watching, but they might be watching, so I'll explain it. Trio, 3 cylinders for this firearm. Trio. What does trio mean? Yep, you guessed it. Okay, now it has 3 cylinders, but guess what? It chambers 4 different cartridges. 9mm, 38 Super, 357 Magnum, and 38 Special. And many of you, most of you already know why that just requires 3 cylinders, right? And as you can see on the target, I listed all the different chamberings. But I also want to thank Silencer Central for their support of the channel. Great little suppressors. They do one thing really well. They make that baddish suppressor. And you've seen them here, you'll see them again. SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. Get yourself some distance learning and drone technology, firearms, all sorts of things. And while I'm at it, I want to thank Alabama Holster for their support of the channel. Great little Kydex concealment holsters. Got a couple of them on me. Use them all the time. Appreciate their help. And I'll probably switch out to a different chambering here. And what do you want me to shoot next? Let's see. I don't guess we need to shoot the 9. That's the 9mm. I think they're labeled on the back. So if you can read, you can always have the right cylinder and the firearm, or at least the one you want in there, right? If you have ammo for it. And then 357, probably the most common, the one you're gonna stick in there and probably leave it, unless you just happen to run across some 38 Super or the Goodbye, or you do compete and you have a lot of 38 Super. I have a friend I used to compete with. He still shoots 38 Super. So he would have quite a bit, I'm sure, and would actually use that cylinder more than I would probably. So what I'm going to do, I think our friends in social media consider it evil to be modifying a firearm. So I'm not going to modify this while you're watching, okay? All right, this firearm suddenly became 357. Actually, we did not modify it. This is kind of like field stripping a firearm, things like that, that actually in the real world, people who know firearms and consider safety to be important, know that those are things that need to be demonstrated, just like with something like this. You're just changing the cartridge and all that sort of thing. And so folks with common sense understand that. And so what I have in here now is the chambering, or the cylinder for 357. No ammo, of course, but we'll put some in. We'll remedy that. Before I do that, I want to show you that the other thing I meant to show you, and I didn't, is that this Trio has the patent dates on it, like right there on the frame, kind of like the Colt. So that's kind of cool. And then it also has that beautiful brass frame. Well, not frame, but trigger guard and all that. That's kind of a nice touch. I've always liked that. Brass is a nice touch on any Western style firearm, cowboy guns we call them. That's pretty cool. And then what else about it? So anyway, so we'll shoot some 357. And one thing I always point out with people, if you're looking for a Western style firearm like this, these firearms are basically the same size, configuration, everything, but this one is more barrel heavy. It's more barrel heavy. Why would that be? Well, there's a difference in the bore of the barrel, 38 versus 45, right? So the outside diameter would be the same, essentially, but you got a smaller hole in that 38. Need I tell you that? And guess what? That makes the barrel heavier. So just something to think about. I always like to remind people of that. It's not an issue with this firearm, but if you get into, I think this one comes in a 4 3/4 and a 5.5. I don't think it comes in a cavalry version with a 7.5 inch barrel. If it did in 38, it'd really be barrel heavy. But that's just something you get with 38. You get a heavier barrel, okay? And well, I guess a little bit heavier cylinder too, because you got the same issue, smaller holes, more steel, okay? But yeah, pretty nice. Let's shoot some 357. This would be the chambering probably that you would shoot the most, and I would shoot the most. What we do? Let's shoot some Magnums. Let's lead off with Magnums here. You want to? These are some Underwood Magnums. Load one, skip one. This is the old action. It's a Colt clone. Like I say, even if it's a Ruger, I tend to load 5 anyway, just to not break the habit. So load 1, skip a hole, load 4 more, cock it, and I think I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. There we go. Come down on an empty chamber, and let's fire this thing. 357. So we got us a cowboy gun in 357 Magnum now, from 38 Super. Now it's louder. How'd it get louder? Woo! Oops, about the let me under a hammer down. I didn't get the Let me go back over to the table, going half cocked. I don't want to go off half cocked. Keep it pointed down range. There we go. There we go. Oh, I didn't get my cylinder base pin in right or all the way, and let's take another. Now I'm going to have a situation where I don't know whether it's going off or not. So you know what this is good for? This is good for working on your flinch. When you know you got whatever I have, 2 or 3 rounds in here, but I have bypassed chambers and all that kind of thing. So usually I don't want to do that. That messed me up. That's okay. Use it as a learning experience. So I'm going to let the trigger fall, and I don't know whether it's going to fire or not. Boom! It fired. And I gotta go back over here and replace that pin because it's trying to come out on me again. I'll show you what's happening, which is my fault. So I had more rounds, which I knew. All right, so here's how this is. Oh, you guys, something I was going to show you anyway. I'll empty that and put it back in, but I was going to show you the safety, and that's part of why that happened. Now that is not likely to happen on a, I don't know, a Colt or a firearm with a different arrangement like this. I'll show you how this safety works. So when I put this in here, I guess I can do it with the cylinder, it doesn't really matter. Put the cylinder in. All right. You cannot ship a firearm from overseas without a safety of some sort, even one of these. And of course these don't come with a safety generally, right? Colt didn't make it with a safety other than the safety notch maybe, but it's got to have a safety of some sort. This one has 2 notches right here, and that cross pin, traverse pin, catches either here or here. And the reason they did that, that's the safety. So I'll show you. I meant to show you this anyway. So I got used to it. It's just something to be aware of with one of these. You need to get it in the proper notch. Get the cylinder lined up here. There we go. Now I pushed it all the way in. Now what that's going to do, there's no ammo in it, but you see that sticking out back there? That's the base pin, the end of it's sticking out. And what that does is it keeps the hammer from falling all the way and hitting a primer. If there was a round in there with a primer, see, the firing pin would not get to it. So that's their version of the safety, okay, as it is shipped out of Italy or wherever, okay? Now what you want to do is, now it's empty of course, I'll bring it back. Now if I bring this base pin forward to the next notch, there we go, I felt it click in that notch. Now, as you look back there, see it's not sticking out, is it? Okay, and you can see the front of it. It is, protruding a little bit. That means this is in that notch, the non-safety notch, we'll say. So the notch closer to the end of that is the safety, and put it back further. Okay, that's what was happening there. I didn't get it in the. Well, I had the pin rolled around to where I think it couldn't even get in the notch. So now let's load it again and shoot this thing. Let's put some specials in it, which I was going to shoot anyway. This is while we have it unloaded. All right. Now you have to watch base pins. Sometimes, I've been at matches with people, cowboy matches, and they lose their base pins, and they got a spare base pin for their gun. They will come out sometimes, a lot of shooting, or get loosen up and you don't realize it. So we got 38 special. So this is the 4th chambering that this thing will handle. Let me get my ears on because I was the first to know I didn't have them on. I'm glad I was shooting 38 special instead of 357 Magnum. Right, cowboy? Yeah. So the base pin is staying put now. Let's shoot the hog. This is more friendly. Yeah, nice. Click. So base pin stays in place, but that's the thing. That's one reason you see such crazy safeties on some firearms in the single actions. Gosh, what was it? Some 22 single action like this, cowboy version that we did videos on years ago. and it has some kind of thumb safety up here on the side of the gun, and so un-cowboy-like, so offensive. But you can't ship a firearm to the United States without an external safety of some sort. So while I'm not crazy about having an extra slot and make sure that's lined up with those slots downward, it is nice to not have some crazy, safety on the thing. Okay, I mean, that is the safety. It's the most unobtrusive safety that I can imagine, on a single action. So anyway, that's the way that goes. So y'all learned something today. I expect a check. Yeah, I expect you to pay me for that. Just kidding. You do by just coming to watch, putting up with me. Okay, I'll shoot 5 more and let you get out of here. See, anything else about this I was going to tell you about? I don't know anything else about it. It's just your basic Colt clone, other than that import safety thing, that you got to have, that you don't have to have on a Colt, and Colt doesn't put on. If you go buy a new Colt today, there's no funky stuff about the base pin or anything, because it's made in this country. All right, let's shoot some more of these. All right, Desperado. Let's take care of this Desperado down here. Yeah, we put 5 on him. That ought to be enough. So anyway, the King Trio from Pieta and Gallery of Guns. It is a Gallery of Guns exclusive. They put in the specs. They wanted Pieta to make this way, for them and everything. So it's a pretty nice little gun. And you don't have a lot of crazy markings on the barrel. The stuff about Italy is on the bottom, very unobtrusive. So that's always kind of nice. Great Western tube says on top of the barrel, and again, chambered in 4 different cartridges for your pleasure. 38 Super 9mm, 357 Magnum, or 38 Special. So pretty cool little gun. Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. Really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com, and also while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.